I'm assuming there's no new major update with any kind of new injury or anything like that?
No, just still are assessing William to see how he's going to have to evaluate him every single day to take a decision for the match. Is the only thing about him, and Raul Jimenez still out. Apart from Raul, really, all the other players, they are going probably to be available, even William, but we have to wait a little bit more.
So there's a chance, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30?
Okay, is a chance there. It's a chance for him to be there, yeah.
And Broja was taken ill, wasn't he?
It wasn't well in the last maybe for the match he didn't feel really well. Was not in conditions to be involved in the game. Yeah.
But he's okay for this?
Yeah, he's okay.
And how frustrating is it for him? Because he came in on deadline day. Obviously, he wants to play, and then Rodrigo starts to score. Hasn't scored all season, and now can't stop scoring. And obviously, it's going to be hard to drop him now, isn't it?
Okay, about my selections, of course, I'm going to decide always what is the best for the team. About Armando, of course, the players, they have their ambitions, and of course, when we sign a player like Armando to come, the deadline last January, of course, the idea and the aim and what we expected for him to be a really important piece in our 11, in our squad, definitely. If not, we will not move in that direction. And of course, we did convince him because we really believe that he's the right guy to be here. And of course, he was really aiming to come here as well to play football matches. Of course, as you said, he just arrived in the deadline one day before the Burnley game, almost without training time with us, nothing. Okay, some quick meetings with him for him to try to understand the things. That game he had 20 minutes on the pitch. He played 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Rodrigo scored, and the game after, of course, Rodrigo scored twice against Bournemouth at home, and this is a normal stuff, of course, that he has to wait for his chance. Last week, unfortunately for him, he got unwell and was not available to the match, and of course now he's going to be available, and I'm going to decide what is going to be the best solution to start the game. Of course, you can talk about frustration when the people look from outside. You can think in this way. I think for Armando, until now, the things are going in direction that it should be, because football is always about performance. It's about to be on the pitch and take the performance, and of course after the manager has to decide what is going to be the best solution for each game.
Because you see a lot more than anybody else. You see every day on the training ground, not just the performances of the weekend. Yeah. So he's doing everything he needs to do.
No, he's working hard. He's trying to of course, different clubs, different type of different style, different type of game. Okay, style not really, but different type of ideas, if I can say in this way. Of course, needs time to adapt, to understand everything, to start to create connections with the teammates as well. It's always like that. It's always like that, and of course, takes time. But in the training session, you can see his quality, you can see what he's capable to do, and I'm really positive that he's going to help us really until the end of the season.
And is it a masterstroke by Fulham? Has his arrival affected Rodrigo, or is that just too oversimplifying the situation?
No, I don't see that because he arrived affected Rodrigo. I didn't see. Rodrigo got his chance and started the game against Burnley, not because Armando arrived late. He started the game against Burnley because Raul got injured. Raul was the player that was playing more time during that period and scoring important goals for us during that period, and he got injured. And of course, as you know, Rodrigo got that chance, and he stepped in and show his quality. He had some spells during the season where he didn't score, but for example, you can go back some months ago when he started the game against Man United, and he had a very good first half against Man United at Cottage. He didn't score, but had a good first half, and after got an injury in his knee and all that stuff, and it was always something there breaking his run. Of course, now he got a chance. He's scoring important goals. He's improving. You can see every single day at training session, every single match. You can see that, and I'm really pleased for him because he deserves.
And now you mentioned the good first half against Manchester United. Is that a consideration when you're thinking about the starting 11?
No, of course we had we had very, very competitive games, and not just one against Man United since last season. All of them, they are really competitive, really tight games. We want to give another really competitive game for Man United, and if you can have this competitive game with a different result than the first round, is going to be good for us, because we wanted to get a good result away from home against them. We know that it's going to be tough. They are in terms of results, they have been achieving very good results last few games. Of course, they are more confident right now than the time that they came here to play at Cottage. But we want to play our game. We want to go there to respect them, but to be brave enough to play our game and to get a good result.
If you were planning for this game, say a month ago, when Højlund wasn't scoring for fun, would you have planned differently? Do you now have to pay him special attention?
But even that moment when you played against, even if he was not playing or playing, I think goals are important. You talk about Rodrigo as well, that is scoring goals, but you can see in some, even if it's more important, the most important thing for a striker is to score. You can see their talent, you can see their quality, even if they are not scoring. About him, since he arrived at Manchester, you can see that he's a young player, of course, young strikers. And you know, the young strikers, they're normal, they need more time, they need time to adapt, to understand the ideas, all the scores. Of course, when they start to score goals, they are more confident. And you can see this in Holland, really, because he has the quality, he has the talent, he's a really strong player. When he's attacking behind, he's really strong too. He's a player that is clear for me, a player with capacity to have a very good run in Man United. Let's hope that against us you can block him well, you can defend him well, because he's a good player.
You'll be missing João Palhinha, of course. Another yellow, two games missed. You can't be angry with him, because that's part of his game, isn't it? You shouldn't really be playing that position if you're not picking up yellow cards, I guess, in a way.
Yes, but of course, it's always something to improve. Of course, is a really important piece in ourselves, in our team. Is a really important position for me. Of course, we don't want to take from João that right and good aggressiveness that he plays, of course, to cover all that area of the pitch, all that stuff. But at the same time, we are working with him to have the right balance in both situations. In some moments, of course, we have to stop them, and most of the times he can do it being successful. Other times we have to take a little bit more care, because in some moments you have to delay a little bit more, instead of to be always trying to react and to be strong in challenge. Of course, again, don't take the best that he has, and we cannot. Of course, we have to take advantage from that situation, and same time to work with him to have the right balance between both things.
Did you say to him before the Villa game, whatever you do, don't get a yellow card?
Oh no, normal. I don't. Why I'm going to say that for him? He knows that he's against Villa, was against Bournemouth, he's against Man United. Of course, not going to play, or the next game that he's going to play. Of course, we have to have the right. I don't like to put the players or to avoid the players to think too much about yellow cards and that stuff. They have to go to the pitch knowing what they have to do, the things that they should or not on a match day, and play freedom to don't always thinking about the situation, because it's not the best.
Just finally from the end on him, Tony Khan told a radio interview this week, something I'm sure you know and agree with, that if the price is right in the summer, then João could be sold.
Okay, he's the vice chairman of the club, and of course, if he said that, he speaks on the behalf of the club, of course, and it's the decision that they are ready to take if he's good to the club. Not many comments to do on it.
Thanks.
Andy, over to you.
Marco, you spoke about defensive mistakes costing you against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Is that an area that you have specifically worked on this week in training? I mean, does it work like that? You make mistakes one weekend, and that week you spend more time on that?
No, not that we spend more time. Normally, we have a way to prepare the players for the next game, and we did it. Of course, we spoke with the players. We know what we should do. Of course, clearly, was a game that being more assertive, more solid, probably was a game for us to get completely different result, because we deserve different one. But being more solid, more compact, and when I say more solid, more compact, in some moments, I'm not talking just about the back line. Of course, in some moments we have to be stronger in a challenge, clear, and that game was a good example of it. but being more solid, of course, is an important thing for us, and it's something that we are working with the players to make them to understand how it's important, because we know that we are capable to create chances, that we are capable to score important goals, and the goals during the matches. Of course, being more solid, you are closer to win football matches too.
Rodrigo Muniz, great form. It's been a huge bonus to you in recent weeks. I guess the obvious question is what's changed? What sparked this great run of form with him recently?
Firstly, is about his quality. He's still really young player. Okay, 22 years old. Some players they are more ready than the others. As you know, he came really young from Brazil and not with many games in Brazil. When he came, he was not already a starting 11 player in Brazil. He came young. For us to work with him, to develop him, was the idea behind, to have him behind Mitrovic. That was the striker during that period. Of course, first season he had some good spells behind a striker that scored more than 40 goals, and he had some good moments. And last season, I already said, but I will go to repeat, was a moment that he, on the pitch, in terms of game time and all the stuff, he almost lost one season. But okay, we got a decision to let him to go on loan, and didn't work out that situation. Of course, is more or less like a moment that he lost the season on the pitch, because off the pitch I think he grew really. Mentally he grew, because when you have some difficulties in front of you have to grow in a different way, and he did it. And about ourselves, of course, was always a player that I really believed, because that I decided to vote him was he has some important and difficult, sometimes not easy things to find in one striker, to play as a number nine, a player that can play really there. And yes, as I said before, he got a chance. He stepped in really, and he got a chance, and until now he's deserving to play. And good to us that he's scoring important goals as well.
A couple of your players who were at the African Cup of Nations, they were on the bench last
Yeah.
weekend. Was that just a case of giving them a bit of extra rest and so that?
It was a difficult player. Okay, Ballo Touré was different because he didn't play many games. Was almost without minutes in the African Cup. Of course, when he arrived, was not a problem to involve him straight away. Calvin and Alex, of course, is not that they were not playing there. They don't need time They need time just to breathe a little bit and as you know, Alex played 45 minutes. Calvin comes second half as well. And now they are more than ready to start. If I'm going to design in this way, they are really important place for us. But completely different. The weather, everything was different. The load of the games was really there. They played the final, and was a really intense final for them. And where they lost the final, everything was there. We decided for them to come as quick as they can, to start to recover them, to be ready for the game against Villa, and now they had a normal week, and they are going to be involved again in the solutions for the match, and that's what is going to be my decision. But they are really important for us, definitely. And before the African Cup, they have been really important. Alex scoring important goals, assisting, Calvin being really solid at the back as well, and they are really important for us.
The last one for me, would you agree that Manchester United are a much stronger proposition now in terms of going up against them now than they were maybe even as recently as a month ago, certainly 2 months ago?
No, one thing is clear for me, they are more confident. When you achieve, all the teams, all the players, they need good results to be more confident. And if you look at them, of course, when they are achieving so many good results at home and away, because it's something that at home you can say that they have been strong during so far the season, but the way form clearly improved as well, and of course they are more confident right now. But they are always Man United, top players that they can decide a game in any moment of the game, and it's going to be a really challenging one for us. But I think we are going to be ready for it. I'm really sure that you are going to be ready for it, and we have to go to give them a really competitive game and to fight for the 3 points.
I'll come to you in a second. We're just going to finish on TV, Ruben.
Hello, Ben.
How much of a loss will Fernandes' physicality and leadership be against a good United midfield?
Yes, of course. As I said, with all the players available, we are stronger. Definitely, of course, all the coaches they want the same, and it's my case too, of course. But again, it's not a moment to talk about João when you are going to play against Man United or Brighton next week. He's a moment to talk about the other players that they are going to be really important, and the chance is going to be there for someone to take and I really hope, and Rodrigo Muniz is a good example, I really hope that a player that came in show his quality, because we have players with quality in our squad.
Obviously, Muniz on such good form. Is there any chance you could ever see Brozier and Muniz up front together for Fulham?
No, right now it's something that we are not using, really. We are not starting normal games with two strikers.
And obviously you were upset in the reverse fixture in the way you conceded late on, an error I believe, but does that sort of galvanise you and make you more hungry going into this game?
No, what galvanise us, what give us the confidence, for example, is the way you play that game, not the result, not because we considered is going to galvanise us one error that we made. It's much more the way you played, the way you have been competitive at Cottage or at Old Trafford against them, and I really believe that we have the condition to do it again.
In the league, there's so many top Portuguese players. I mean, United, Fernandes, Dalot, you've got a couple yourself. Does that make you proud as a Portugal national?
Of course, yes, no doubts about it, and of course, if I speak about it, probably because I'm Portuguese, the people then is going to think that I'm always protecting the talent that we have there. But okay, I let for the other managers to speak about it. When you see that Jurgen, for example, the way he speaks about Portuguese players, because he has there, even Mikel, he played last night against a Portuguese club, and the day before the match he spoke about the Portuguese players too. One thing that for sure they are, apart from their talent, because we have this capacity, they are really ready for the top of the football, because the way you prepare them, the way from the young age, from the academies, we prepare them to be ready for this level. I'm sure that when they arrive at this stage of their careers, they are more than ready to perform at this level.
Thank you,
Marco, hi.
Hi.
You've said there are certain games in the Premier League that managers, players, the fans look forward to. Is this one of them, going to Old Trafford?
It's one off, but luckily for all of us that in Premier League you have many games, not just one or two. That means that not week in, week out, but almost, depending the schedule, of course, you have this type of games, because it's a very good sign. Of course, in the past you were talking many times about the top six, how it's difficult for you to say where is the top six, because you have some clubs there in the middle, you have some clubs fighting for Champions League spots that normally they weren't in the past, and it's a very good thing in Premier League. And because that, I said, okay, Man United, of course, is one of the biggest clubs in this country. All the story, the capacity they have, play at Old Trafford is always something really good and special. But of course, you have many times you play this type of games. Man United is going to be the next one, and for us, is always the most important, because it's the next one, and nothing more than that.
You said that previous meetings against them have been so close and so competitive.
Yeah.
Does it make it more frustrating then when you think about what might have been in those games?
Yes. Of course, I don't like to talk and to think too much about the past, because it's already done and we cannot change it. We can analyze to try to be more ready for some things, but of course the frustration was big, not just this season, even last season, the way 2 times at Cottage last minute, and the way the 2 games away from home. And we already spoke enough about the games, how the things happen in both situations. But of course, make us to the frustration was there, is in the past already. Make us to be more confident that we can do it again in terms of be competitive, and of course with a different result is our ambition.
Often it's put to teams that are maybe going up against a club like a Man United in good form or whatever, that you've got nothing to lose. You go there with the attitude that you're expected.
Okay, we have there the points to fight for, and is always our approach to the game. When you have 3 points to fight for against Man United or other team, we are going in that direction, and this is always the approach that we have. Is the way that we prepare the players, and the players, they know that doesn't matter if it's against Villa last week or against Brighton next one, is going to be the same against Man United.
Are you disappointed with your away form?
Yes.
Is there a reason for it?
Of course, the reasons are there. We keep the reasons for ourselves. The players, they know the reasons too. Of course, some things, like for example, we go in the direction of the last game where we're winning 2-0 against Burnley for the last 10 minutes. Of course, was clear lack of management. In that moment, we have to manage the game in a different way. In that moment, game management on the pitch, we have to have this situation always clear in our minds to be able to to approach the type of reactions that come from the opposition side. When goal happen and they reduce, okay, they scored the 2-1, for example, is a good sign. We have to manage in a different way their game, certain type of mistakes that we have done in some games as well. But okay, all the reasons is for ourselves to work with the players and of course to try to improve.
Hopefully on Saturday.
Yes, of course, because it's the next one. Yeah.
And one last question, sorry, when you mentioned about Willian needing to assess it, is that something you're always having to do with him?
No. As you know, we didn't come out last game at half time. You know that. Okay, he felt something during the last 5 minutes of the first half, and when we decided to change him because he felt something in his hamstring. Of course, it's because that I'm saying that we are assessing him.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. The camera's off, please.